Welcome back. Attorney Andrew Bethel, Bethel Law. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to address an unsettling development we've recently come across. It's crucial for you to be informed so you can be smart about who you choose to help you plan your estate. Today, we're talking about shady attorneys. We've discussed trust scams and red flags in previous videos where we highlighted issues like the deceptive low-cost trust seminar and the too good to be true cheap trust deals. In essence, if someone's offering you a trust for a fraction of what attorneys charge, yet they claim it's just as good as one you would get from an attorney, then be wary. Again, check out that video for more details. Right now, it's story time. Let me share a recent incident. I met with a father and his daughter looking to update Dad's trust after his wife had passed away. Their documents were meticulously organized in a binder. Everything looked professional. However, when I reviewed it, I noticed an old provision known as an A-B split requiring the trust estate be divided upon the death of one spouse, creating an irrevocable trust. This A-B split used to be common with lower estate tax levels, but considering today's estate tax level of $12.9 million in 2023 and increasing due to inflation, this provision is outdated, especially for their net worth. And it comes with complications like extra taxes, half of Dad's money not being easily accessible, and the hassle of filing double tax returns annually. I've talked about A-B splits before, so I won't go into more detail here. Okay, there was an outdated provision in the trust we now have to contend with. The trust wasn't new, but this provision wasn't necessary even at the time the trust was established, in my opinion. However, to add to the complications, an amendment to their trust was not even executed correctly. Changes were made, but it wasn't notarized, calling into question its validity. So Dad was stuck with unnecessary provisions and ineffective amendments. The very next day, I met with another set of clients who brought in an eerily familiar binder. This time, it was children bringing in Mom's estate plan after her passing. The format, font, provisions, it was identical to what I had saw the day before. Upon inquiry, I learned Mom got her trust online for about $300. This led me to deduce that the previous client who paid $800 to an attorney likely received the same off-the-shelf trust without any personalization. I even found a small formatting error that was exactly the same in each trust. To be clear, none of these folks knew each other. They each called and scheduled appointments at different times. It was just coincidence that they came into my office one day after the other. There was truly no connection between either family. However, I can't be 100% certain about this, but my theory is that the attorney who gave Dad his trust simply purchased the trust online for less than half of what he charged the family, and then simply passed this trust off as his own work. Again, I cannot say this is what happened for certain, and I'm not going to name names since the attorney is actually retired, but I'm sure they probably weren't the first attorney to come up with this scheme, and they certainly won't be the last. At this point, you might be thinking, well, that's probably unethical, but at the end of the day, what's the harm? Well, setting aside the issues of attorneys swearing oaths not to be unethical, plagiarism, extracting money from someone without adding value, and so on, the big problem is that when an attorney pulls a stunt like this, it can severely negatively impact the client. The situation with the children bringing in Mom's trust after her death turned out fine. That was a single person's trust and basically accomplished the goal of avoiding probate. The dad who came in with daughter following his wife's death was a different story. On top of the attorney charging them extra for work he didn't actually do, the attorney evidently didn't even review the trust terms in detail and locked up half of Dad's money and house in an irrevocable trust. If the attorney had known the law regarding estate taxes and had taken the time to read through the off-the-shelf trust he passed off as his own, then he would have known to not include that provision handcuffing the surviving spouse, here Dad, into a partially irrevocable trust estate. Now, we were able to ultimately help Dad avoid this situation, but it complicated matters, made it more expensive, and Dad had to go around to all the children and get their permission. With all that said, how can you safeguard yourself? It's not just about avoiding glaring scams, but also being careful with attorneys who might take shortcuts. Everything I'm about to say won't necessarily be a catch-all, but it should be a good way to help weed out those more unscrupulous attorneys. First is to check reviews. Before hiring or meeting with an attorney, check their online reputation and see what reviews are out there. Second is to ask for referrals from your trusted friends and family who might have used an attorney's services in the past. Most law firms live and die by their reputation, and referrals are their lifeblood, so those carry great weight. Next, you should check out their website. A jack-of-all-trades attorney might not be the master of estate planning. For example, if an attorney claims to handle DUI cases, criminal cases, family law, and estate planning, they might be spreading themselves too thin. And lastly, ask questions. During your consultation, don't hesitate to ask questions of the attorney and test their knowledge. If it's a concept that is foundational to estate planning, then that attorney should be able to give you a full answer that covers many potential outcomes. Also, don't discount the fact that an attorney might just not know the answer right then and there. What you want to see in that case is the attorney saying, "I don't know, but let me get back to you," and they actually do the research. I think a general problem is people need to be more willing to say, "I don't know" across the board, and attorneys are no different. At Bethel Law, estate planning is our primary focus. Our documents have been fully customized from the ground up. We don't do anything off the shelf. Drop a comment below if you have any questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and check out our other great videos. Stay informed, and I'll see you next time.